Hello, welcome to Ramjack. I'm Alex, the other guy's name is Brad, and you're listening to a portion of episode 474. We discuss season 1, episode 1 of A Different World, and reminisce about some of our dorm experiences in college. Hope you enjoy.
Friends, it is that super special time of the week where we discuss A Different World.
I know my parents love me, stand behind me, come what may. I know now that I'm ready, because I finally heard them say it's a different world from where you come from.
We're getting back into the swing of things, watching a show, getting back into school, getting back into summarizing the episode as close as we can to a minute without going over. Horrendously under means you're a chump. Horrendously over, well, over it all means you've forgotten something. But if you can land a minute on the dot, you're a brave heart. And that's what we strive for here on Ramjack. Brad, we're out of practice, but we shouldn't underestimate you. Do you think you can summarize this first episode, not pilot episode, first of 2 pilot episodes of A Different World?
Well, actually, this is neither of the pilot episodes. This was the 3rd episode filmed.
Yeah.
So, the third episode.
First third episode.
Ooh, yeah.
Do you need more time? Because I could also just wait a second if you wanted.
I think I'm ready for this thin little episode.
On go. 3, 2, 1, go.
Friends, this is Reconcilable Differences. Denise Huxtable is off to college for her first year. I got some questions about the whole timeline. I don't know how she knows Whitley yet. I don't know where they met, what's going on there. Seems like something's missing. Don't know. But it's Lisa Bonet. She's amazing. She's moving in. Immediately we meet everyone's favorite Dwayne Wayne with those flip-up sunglasses. First scene, talking directly to the camera. It is wild. Really breaking that fourth wall. I know Alex loved that. Denise goes up. She meets her roommate, whom is 26 and divorced. Weird. And they don't get along at all. She tries to get a different roommate, and like the house mother, I guess, which is still a thing, who lives with her kid there, who has a rad Dragon Blast Skeletor shirt. I was like, no, you gotta get together. She's like, or you can live with Whitley. Not Whitley. She moves in with Whitley. It's terrible. She moves in with the other person. It works.
1 minute! Wow, man. I was really scared for you for a second. 45 seconds, I was like, oh, fuck.
Because, nothing... It's one of those situations where nothing happens. So you think you got a lot of time, but you can only play so much.
Thankfully, only 4 of the main characters from the show are even in this thing.
Yeah, it is. It's a thin little episode.
This is the last pretzel I'm eating. I'm sorry if you hear a crunch right now.
Oh, boy.
Inspired by our pretzel talk a while ago. When hard pretzels don't have a soft
pretzel.
pretzel.
See, if you'd gone with a soft pretzel, no one would be the wiser.
No one would.
But look at you. Egg on your face. Pretzels in your mouth, egg on your face.
So, A Different World debuted on NBC September 24th, 1987.
I can't believe it's 87.
I know, right?
That's wild to me.
In my mind, it existed in the very early 90s, like 90s to 90-something. Yeah. But no, it ended in 93.
Yeah.
July of 93, nonetheless. Kind of a weird in the middle of the year end, but...
Wow. Yeah, I watched a lot of this show.
That's awesome, because I only remember bits and pieces of it.
I don't remember it well, but I definitely watched a lot of it.
I remember Dwayne with his glasses.
Yes.
I remember the intro, like we said, where it goes from one room to another and panning across slowly. And I remember it enamoring me, this is what it's going to be like when I'm older at school. This is cool.
Thanks.
But I don't remember much else.
Yeah.
And I was whiplashed when we first watched this episode because it was so different from what I guess I only saw stuff from season 2 to 6.
I knew that Lisa Bonet wasn't there the whole time. And we'll talk about that in a second, because
I knew that too, but that was mainly after the fact.
I didn't realize she was only in the first season. That is wild to me, because Lisa Bonet.
So she apparently comes back in the 3rd season for a few guest appearances or 1 guest appearance, which I think is interesting. Because do you know any of the tea about why she left the show?
Oh yeah. Let's. I obviously first thing we got to talk about is obviously this is a spinoff of the Cosby Show. Like,
oh no, yeah, of course we all knew that.
Now, just so everyone knows, I illegally downloaded this from a Vimeo rep, so I'm not giving Bill Cosby any money because fuck that monster. So the whole situation with Lisa Bonet and the Cosby Show is. So they spun her off into a different world. At the end of the first season of A Different World, she was pregnant with little Zoe Kravitz, which is also just wild to think about. Like, that's crazy. Just all these timelines coming together. So, and Bill Cosby was pissed off. It's like, well, we can't have this. We can't have a Denise Huxtable getting pregnant out of wedlock. Oh, that's shameful and awful, and sets a terrible example.
She was always raised or presented as a quote good girl.
We can't have our good girl be besmirched by having a pregnant actress. Disgusting. So they wrote her off of her own show, Wild, so she doesn't come back in the second season. Instead, she comes back to the Cosby Show as saying she dropped out of college. I think she came back like a little bit at the beginning of the next season of the Cosby Show before she was showing, and then they took her off the show while she was pregnant because we can't show her being pregnant.
She toured Africa, I think.
Yeah, and then she went away to Africa.
In the show, the character,
Yeah, the character of Denise went away to Africa, and then later, after she had that baby, they let her come back on to the Cosby Show, not back to A Different World, back to the Cosby Show under the thumb of Bill Cosby, and then they got rid of her after like another season. And on the last episode, she wasn't even willing to come back for it because her and Bill Cosby were not getting along because he's trash.
Makes sense. Good for her for refusing to come back.
Also, he's a rapist and in jail, and Lisa Bonet is still one of the most attractive human beings on the planet.
I would like to start with the intro, if that's okay. Because like you said, the episode itself is kind of light, and we could probably breeze through it. But there's so much happening in the environments of the show that I feel like we could also just kind of like talk about, because there's a lot. Because it's 87, and this is supposed to be a college dorm. But the intro is just filled of oddities. It starts with them washing a car, like an old red, I guess this is a hot rodish thing. And they're all like doing it to music, because they got beatboxes. They're in a college town in Virginia. Again, shocked. Didn't remember Marissa Tomei being in this.
Did not remember that either.
Did not at all.
Oh, by the way, I don't know if you saw this. They originally were trying to get Meg Ryan.
Oh, yeah.
It was going to be Meg Ryan instead of Marissa Tomei. And Meg Ryan was like, no, I'm going to start having a film career now.
I mean, the Charles in Charge stuff was cute, but now I'm moving on to other things, like a film career. You'll know me as from such movies as Sleepless in Seattle and You've Got Mail. So thanks, but no thanks, Cosby. You're also creeping me out. But Marissa Tomei, again, shocked. I saw her name pop up, and the first thing we see with her name in the opening credits, she's got a giant paper grocery bags walking down the street. She turns around to smile at a dude who's got on like an all denim tracksuit, and he's eating an apple, and he's looking at her like, hey, what's up? This guy reminds me of, was it Lowell on Wings? He's got like a similar profile and look, and I'm like, why the fuck is this older dude like scamming on this college girl? This is awkward and weird, and why is she smiling at him politely? Strange. She knocks over some bicycles. Who's in the background? A dude in an all outfit. Is she being stalked?
Oh no, I didn't catch that. Sorry, I gotta rewatch this Zapruder 11 seconds.
Dude, it's weird.
God, you're right.
Yes, he's there. He's creeping. Hey,
forever
hey, Co-Ed,
stopped by
what's
dinner.
up? You smiled at me the other. We had a connection.
Yikes.
We see the non-traditional student in the next scene jumping rope with a skill and grace I've never seen a non-traditional student jump rope. In high heels, nonetheless. Yeah. This woman is like owning this jump rope, and the girl in the background who's supposed to be in the jump rope right now jumping is not having as much fun as everyone else. The other girls are like, this is great, an adult jumping rope and like fucking commanding this. The other girl's like, God damn it. Am I ever going to be that good? Who's this college student showing me up on the streets of Virginia?
Also, a non-traditional student, Jaleesa, she wrote the theme song.
Oh, nice.
Dawn Lewis.
There's a lot of scenes where they're either washing cars or throwing water on each other because it gets hot, I guess, in Virginia. I have no other idea why they would do that. There's another scene where Lisa Bonet is walking and she's eating an apple. Another instance of an apple in the intro. This one's a Granny Smith. Dwayne comes up, let me help you with your books, and then all the girls pile their books on top of him. Already loving this guy's style. There's the scene where this is the one I remember from childhood, where she's on a payphone and then a hot dude walks by, like a smoking hot dude walks by, and she like immediately drops that payphone and is like, what's up, dude? And she follows him. I don't know why that stuck with me as childhood. I think it was because she paid money in a phone and just left it to me. I was like, why would you do that? How many more minutes did you have? She's on the prowl. She's a college student, doesn't give a fuck. I want to say, there's one scene where she's eating ice cream. There's a lot of, like, food in between classes. There's one dude in a scene that's dancing like a goddamn pro, and it's impressive. I want to say there's another guy eating I think it's an apple. They're on the back of a pickup truck, an old-time pickup truck, and there's a guy playing piano. 3 of them pop up, and the other guy has an apple in his hand eating it. And I'm like, why the fuck is everyone eating apples in a different world? Is Virginia known for apples? Like, what's going on?
It's a different world where they're eating apples, Alex, because an apple a day keeps the doctor away. And by the doctor, we mean Dr. Bill Cosby. It's the only way.
Thank you. That was the way the cast is like, look, we're going to put this in there, and years from now, in the year maybe 2020, two people may find this and understand it.
That saying, what no one realized is that saying is a prophecy. It's the only way to keep Bill Cosby away. He's like a vampire with garlic. Apples keep Bill Cosby away.
Now we can start the show. Dwayne Wayne, as Brad says, actually breaks the fourth wall.
Fully. He's sexually harassing us. This character. This show, again, spin-off of Bill Cosby's show, starts with a man sexually harassing the audience.
I do love how some shows can have a momentum where they can change completely in their second season, or change a lot, and then still thrive and survive. I don't know what happened with Charles in Charge, because it only had the one season. I really wish they had had the opportunity to have a second season, or just continue the first. I mean, why stop a good thing? But Belvedere turned it around, I think, after the second season or whatever, because we almost stopped watching that and was like, okay, this is watchable now. So it's almost strange, like the first season is so weird. I can't wait for us to watch more of this, because I gotta see what happens with the rest of this. Like this part of a different world I never knew existed.
It's wild. Also, Dwayne Wayne looks so young here.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
he's a kid.
It's 1987. It's crazy. This show went on until 93. Like, it's just crazy. It's real crazy.
I give the man props for wearing suspenders. Brad would probably discount his outfit.
Is he wearing
because
suspenders?
He's got shorts on. He's got suspenders on, man. Check it out. They're trailing behind him, man.
Oh.
It's a look. He doesn't need them. It's a look.
It's the 80s thing where we have suspenders on, but they're hanging behind. Okay.
Yes. And he's in the girls' dorm, scamming on ladies, and it gives me an uncomfortable feeling now.
I mean, he's harmless. It's harmless being a creep.
I mean, yeah, I guess if there's much creepier... I mean, Bill Cosby's running around set in theory somewhere, so obviously this guy's...
I mean, I love the fact that he's got the fucking flip-up sunglasses. Scene 1 of this show. Like, I love that they keyed in on that, like, this early on, that was his thing.
I would love to know if that was his choice or wardrobe's choice. If he wore him on to the audition, and like, guys, I think this guy's it. Look at those glasses. This is the show. We open with this.
I mean, because that's the thing. It's great.
I know that the first season got a lot of flack for not accurately portraying traditional black college. So in the second season, they got a woman who actually graduated from a black college to write, and it got a lot better. Just a random aside from this, since I mentioned about the writers. Dwayne makes the mistake of mistaking Stevie, who is the house mom or whatever this lady is.
Yeah, they say
dorm
something
mom.
like she's in charge of the dorm or something. It is. I don't really understand. I just think, again, this is being written by old people for from a different time. I mean, I know 80s it is a different time already, but I think like most things that were produced in the 80s, they were calling back to an even older time that wasn't quite existing anymore, like Animal House and all that shit.
Oh yeah,
it's all like looking back at some weird version of time that old people remember that was never accurate, and then no one actually remembers what reality was anymore. Because it's like the house mom. Like, that's a thing we've seen before. Like, and I'm
Is that a career choice? Like, well, how much was she paid as the house mom?
Yeah, I don't understand. I think the idea is like...
Is she like a grad student? And she also has to house mom? Like, what's the system? How does this...
situation? It's like you're... Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. Very strange, very strange.
Her shirt is all kinds of fabric, too.
Oh, yeah.
Not to slam... I don't know if I like it or not, but it's all kinds of fabric. And I don't know who's dressing harder here, Dwayne or her. Dwayne mistakes her for a student. He starts hitting on her, and she's like, that's cool. P.S. I'm dorm mom.
Yeah, because he's trying to say he's part of the welcoming committee or something.
Yeah, come back to the welcome committee. We're going to have a meeting later in my dorm. Don't worry about it. There's refreshments. What do you think? Come on over.
She's like, I work here, fool. I'm in charge. Get out.
Oh. I think on his way out, he runs into our star of the show.
Yes.
What is her Cosby name? Or the name in
Denise.
this? Denise.
Denise Huxtable. Yeah. Lisa Bonet rolls in a wild jacket.
Are there horses on this? Just wild horses?
Yeah, it is.
In different layers? It's awesome. Illustrated horses, but not like realistically illustrated. More like gray, like brown shadows or tan. It looks like there's some people riding them.
I mean, her fashion is always wild and on point. I think this may be her weakest.
But still stronger than anyone else in the scene, which says a lot. Yeah. What's that brooch she's got on? Why do people wear brooches?
Who knows? I watched all of Quantum Leap. I've seen a lot of brooches and pins. It's a show that loves a brooch.
I might not like brooches. I might be team not brooch.
Whoa. How dare
Hot
you
take.
say that?
I understand everything else.
Al Calavici will slap your fucking mouth.
So,
talking about a brooch like that. That's a man that loves a brooch.
When Lisa brings out her planner, for a second, whiplash for me. I thought, does she have a tablet? I know it's 2020, and it looks like it's like, oh, that's a fucking tablet. What the fuck? Oh, no, wait, it's a planner. It's the old school planner. We had those things. He would bring them out and write notes in them. Cool, I get it.
Nice.
I get it. Displaced in time here. Sorry.
Talking about displaced in time, now we get, Whitley comes down.
Mm-hmm.
She is just wonderful already. She's wearing this all red outfit with like this little like bow thing.
It's like a pantsuit, right? Like it looks almost like business attire-ish. Or like, well, this seems more like I'm about to either usher a theater or
fight a bull. It's great. I like it.
I like your earrings. Look, the fashion's all over the place in this, but in a good way. I love it.
I mean, Lisa Bonet and I forget the actress that plays Whitley. What her name is.
Her name is Jasmine Guy.
Jasmine Guy. Yeah, I mean, two of the greats.
But you bring up an interesting point earlier. I have no idea how they know each other. And it's only kind of hinted out here, but not outrightly stated that I remember.
Is this a scenario where this is actually, is this like their second year of college and they're coming back? But then they make it clear that no, this is definitely Denise's first year at college. So I don't know if this is like a thing. And I looked and I thought, oh, well, maybe there was like an orientation episode like on the Cosby Show or something and they met. And I was like, no, this is Whitley's first appearance in anything related to it. So I don't know what that's about. And I don't know if that's maybe of the way they did things out of order. Maybe that season finale that's actually the first pilot was like an orientation episode and that's where they meet. And that's what we're referring to. But it really felt like they were saying welcome back. But they're just moving into the dorms. It's very confusing to me.
When we get there, we'll figure it out. In my mind, I thought they were just family friends somehow. Because she mistakens, like, her father. She's like, isn't he some sort of, like, eye doctor or foot doctor or something?
Yeah, but that's only because... But she says in that scene that, oh, I thought you were just, like, common street trash. But then I found out, my father, of course, is a judge. And yours is what is he, like a dentist or, like, some kind of bullshit? Some petite bourgeoisie?
We'll figure it out, but yeah, I have no context for how they know each other.
Yeah, it's very strange. But as we're going up, Whitley's warning Denise about her new roommate because she's 26 and she's been divorced.
Non-traditional student.
Alex, do you feel bad that you missed out on the dorm experience?
At the time, slightly.
When I was thinking about it after watching this today, I felt a little bad that you missed that, because when you moved up, me and Persic had just gotten like an apartment just off campus, and you moved in there and took up that spot. But you never got to do the dorm thing, which I definitely did.
I hung out with a few people randomly in their dorms and was like, this is weird. I think we visited... Did Jonathan move back in the dorms?
Yeah.
We visited him once, or I think I visited him once. There were other people I'd been in. Like, I got it. Like, tangentially, I was like, okay. And I think I came out and stayed with you once in your dorm, just like as a... And I was like, okay, cool. And that was enough for me. I was like, oh, an apartment? That's probably the best.
Yeah, it was far better.
I got my own room, not like a room I had to share with someone.
Exactly. When I first went to college, for like the first couple of weeks, because we went up and it was me and my friends Derek and John. We all moved up to the same school. And the idea is that me and Derek were going to room together. What they didn't tell you is, because NKU was bullshit and shitty with paperwork, like, they wanted you to turn your applications together if you wanted to room with somebody, but they didn't say that. So we just put in the form who we wanted to room with, and assuming they would put that together, but they didn't. So we ended up rooming separately for the first couple of weeks. Luckily, we were able to get our rooms changed. And we had gone for like the nicer apartment style dorms is what we'd applied for, but we'd been given other roommates. Derek's roommate, and I don't know how much I trust it, because Derek turned out to be a pathological liar of the highest order.
Well, this was freshman year. You don't know anyone. As far as like, you didn't know Derek as well as you did. You hadn't lived with him yet. So.
Exactly. There's a lot of stories about Derek, but yikes. Real fucking weirdo. Who knew? As he were to tell it, the guy he ended up with was just like a crazy sex maniac that was like sleeping with like a different girl like every day. How much is that's true? Probably none. But that's what we were all under the impression of from his tales. My roommate was a fellow named John Hoffman. Was he a non-traditional student? Oh yes. Was he 26? I think he was older. He looked 35. He looked like a grown-ass, balding man. So I moved in, and like for the first couple of days I had the place to myself. He had not shown up yet. And I was like, oh wow, this may be a scenario where I actually have this room that's technically for 3 people, purely to myself.
Nice.
Because like no one had, because it was a room it had like there was basically 3 beds, because it was like a bunk bed situation. There was like a bed separate, and then like a bunk bed scenario. The exact same scenario that Denise has. So there's like one bed that's separate, and then the other 2 are bunked together. For whatever reason, I don't know how you decide who has the non-bunked bed. I guess whoever gets there first, like I did. So I was there, was completely set up, and then like a couple days in, this 35-year-old looking man wanders in. And I'm like, oh, are you like somebody's dad? What's going on? Like, oh no, you're the roommate. Cool.
Huh.
And he just like, he always seemed like he was in a perpetual hangover. Gross.
He may have been.
Gross looking dude. Also, he worked like 3rd shift, so like he had weird hours. Again, I just lived with him for a couple of weeks. And it was just this whole scenario of just like trying to like creep around when he was there, because he was like, I never knew when he was sleeping or not, and it was very strange. But I'll never forget, like, he had just moved in, and then like I had some friends that came by, and we were watching TV in like the little living room area. He stumbles out of the bedroom, like, and again stumbled, like he clearly had just woken up. Looks around, he sees there's like, oh hey, I'm gonna have to borrow a spoon. First of all, spoons are communal property. I don't know why you need to announce your borrowing of a spoon. Just use the spoon and wash the spoon when you're done with it. I was like, yeah, sure, go ahead.
For him, it wasn't. That's what you learned that day.
I guess it was respectful to ask. The occasion, I'm gonna have to borrow a spoon. And then like he took the spoon and like went back into the bedroom.
So what prompted him to wake up, stumble out, and ask for a spoon, and then scurry back to his room?
Well, I'll give you the answer. The answer was pudding. Unrefrigerated pudding.
Fitting for something that Cosby, or a conversation we're having about a show that he helped produce, I guess, or create.
True. But yeah, and that's what this episode really brought back to my mind, is that creepy older roommate, John Hoffman. What a weirdo. Luckily...
So, did you move out into Derek's room, or did Derek move into yours?
So what ended up happening is, because we both had these like crazy roommate situations. I had this guy that I had to creep around, and he was old and weird. Derek supposedly had a maniac roommate. I'm not buying. What we ended up doing was we had to give up the nice apartment style dorm and just go to like the regular shitty dorms. But we're like, that's fine, we'll take it. So we did that, and then we were in regular dorm, like no separate bathroom, no kitchen area. It was just one room with bunk beds, 2 desks.
Did you guys bunk the next year together again?
The next year, we both moved into the apartment style, and I think that's when you came up.
I was about to say, because I remember coming up and hanging out with you guys in your dorm, and a lot of the apartment style makes sense. And that's the first time that wasn't the first time I heard the John Hoffman story, but the first time it made sense to me, because I was like, I could see how someone could stumble out of a room not too dissimilar from this into this communal area, and then this would be really funny.
Yeah.
I got the full picture, I guess, of the story. I also got my first ticket, I think, from because I parked and was stayed over. I was like, oh, fuck. And there was a lot of writing on the ticket of like, you have to pay this, or you could be, and I was like, I gotta pay this if I'm gonna come up to school up here. And you were like, dude, don't pay that thing. And Derek was even like, don't pay that. That's stupid.
Yeah.
I paid it anyway. It wasn't that much money, but I was still scared. The scare tactics of the parking lot patrol.
Seriously, those Nazis. Oh, but yeah, that was my dorm experience. And again, I'm just gonna talk about dorm stuff because it's here and this episode is thin.
Please do, yeah.
And I mean, obviously, you got the huge financial benefit of staying home and like doing like the community college for that first couple of years and knocking shit out, which was great in the long term for you. I don't know, that like first year of just like, okay, you're living in like this weird dorm situation, you're eating in the cafeteria, you're just around all these weird new people, and you have that new freedom, and you're in a new place and trying to figure all that shit out. I think that was hugely important and beneficial for me, and I look on it fondly.
I can imagine, man. Plus, you got all those young people running around. I never got that experience, other than like in campus, in classes and everything. Like, living with all these other young people.
That's the thing, because you're just surrounded, and especially the cafeteria stuff. Again, when you lived in the dorms, we didn't have a kitchen, so we had to buy the meal plan and eat all of our meals from the cafeteria, which had its ups and downs. You had to get in there when it was actually open, which was sometimes a struggle with theater. But then you just get to know a lot of weird characters. There was this guy that Ben Jesus guy that it was very strange, because he was this real tall guy, and he was super Jesus, but it would always come out surprise style. Just all of a sudden start talking about Jesus. He would be completely normal, and then he would start talking about Jesus, and everything he said was very long-winded and boring, and it was very monotone. And all of a sudden he'd be talking about the light of the Lord, and if you think about it, Christ saved us all so that we could be in the light of God. And it was like, oh crap, Ben Jesus is coming. Get away.
Is it common for people to dorm all 4 or 5 years of college?
Yeah, a lot of people do. I mean, John and Brian did.
I can't imagine that.
I think did Pernisek ever get a separate place? I think he just dormed it.
I can't imagine that. It was so much better to have, I guess it was so much better to have an apartment.
Yeah, I mean, I did all the variations you could do, so... I mean, kind of the nice side is you're still in that kind of protective sphere.
True.
You're paying for it all up front with your tuition and everything and your loans, and it's all coming out of that. So it's not like you have to worry about paying rent.
And you're on campus.
Yeah.
Even though it was a fucking long walk from those dorms to the actual NKU campus.
True.
But still, you're there.
Yeah.
It's not insurmountable to walk.
Yeah. So that was, it was interesting. I'm glad I got all the experiences, but yeah. But Denise is quite concerned to meet this new roommate.
So she goes in, she's a little timid, and the roommate's like, listen, lady, here's my backstory. I was married for a while.
Well, that's after Lisa's like, hi, I'm Denise, you're 26? I mean, I'm sorry, you don't look 26. I'm single. Oh, sorry, didn't mean to talk about your divorce, which I didn't even get that joke at first.
Oh, yeah.
But like
this whole thing is a non-issue.
I mean, I know
It's like, who cares?
I know I just talked about like the benefits of like, the dorm life and everything, but can you imagine being 26 and moving into the dorms?
I mean, yeah, what's going on?
Like,
I wish I knew more about her scenario. We don't get their majors or anything at this point, do we?
No.
Lisa wouldn't have a major right now.
Yeah, not
Probably not
we don't
one
know
that's
it.
established.
We don't know at this point. And I mean, 26 is you're just old enough to like be annoyed by all the young 18-year-olds, I think.
There's a huge gap in life experience from 18 to 26.
Yeah.
You are an adult at 26, more or less. 18, you're still a kid.
I can't, like, 26 living in the dorms. I mean, I went back to grad school. I was like 28, I guess. And I was on campus again, and like, I felt a lot older than most of the people there. Just walking around. I mean, not in my actual grad school classes. I was pretty young in comparison there. But be like living in a dorm at 26.
Was John Hoffman in a grad program, you think?
No, I don't think so.
I'm trying to... that's a mystery we may never find
I
out.
think he was just doing this.
So yeah, they don't hit it off. Denise is a little bit more unpolished and messy.
I think it's crazy that, like, there's clearly one bed that is made. Denise puts her stuff down and is like, oh, I'm sorry, have you chosen a bed? Yeah, the one that's made, dummy. You see the two beds that don't have, like, any fucking linens on them?
The bunk bed that has... Yeah, you can get the top or bottom. It's your choice. But I've got the bed that has everything on it. Doesn't Denise bring out, like, a little mobile made of, like, retainers or something that Rudy made for her?
Yeah, that's later. We get that with Whitley.
Well, I think she got both, because both people are like, that's stupid. Why do you have that here, kid?
Oy.
Whitley is, like, terrified of it, but...
As she should be.
So they obviously aren't hitting it off. Denise says, I'm going to go talk to what is it, a dorm mom? I don't know what it is, but I'm going to go down and talk to her. She goes down. Dwayne's already back. Like, hey, I wrote this 8-page, printed on a dot matrix printer, dissertation of why we belong together.
Yeah. And it's like, to whom it may concern... If you like riding in like a Lamborghini in like the countryside of France with 2 cheesesteaks in the glove box, what the fuck are you talking about?
Look, he hasn't had any classes yet. He's a freshman. He's still getting his ideas together. He's still learning how to write these things. What else was in this is my question.
Cheesesteaks in a glove box? First of all, why are sandwiches in a glove box?
No idea. Did Lambos have, like, cooled glove boxes to where it was like a refrigerator you could store cheese in? Don't think so.
So, yeah, she goes into Stevie's dragon which is just a straight up, like, for real apartment.
Yeah.
And
her kid's there.
Yeah. Kids there wearing a rad Dragon Blaster Skeletor t-shirt.
He has some sort of, like, is that the Thundercats plane behind him on the couch?
Oh, maybe.
I don't remember what toy it is, but it is an identifiable toy.
Yeah.
He has, like, a lot of toys around here. I'm sorry, I also have it beside streaming as we're going through this to jog my memory. But yeah, they're also wearing, like, bumblebee hats. It's strange, but she's like, all right, you want to change roommates? The only person that you can change, even though I don't think you should, because the whole part of this is getting along with people you may not normally get along with, and you never know what's going to happen. The grass isn't always greener, but all that being said, Wheatley has a...
Our Whitley.
Whitley. Why do I keep calling her Wheatley? There's a pillow on the couch that says, I am trying, in Stevie's apartment. That's an awesome pillow. Yeah, that's the only other person that has an opening. Are you going to move in with her or not? This Southern Belle.
Well, first she goes up, she's like, I'm going to give it another shot. And she tries, she's like, hey, listen up, Jaleesa. Listen, I'm just going to do what Stevie said and give this a fair shot. And Jaleesa's all of a sudden like, wait, you went to see her behind my back? Which I'm like, it's not why is that a problem? Isn't that what she's there for?
Yeah.
Why do I have to have a conference with you ahead of time? It's very strange.
It is weird. What's even weirder is when she comes back up to the room for this, we get like a shot that frames the door and her coming in with like a picture frame of the Huxtables like right there on a desk. And there's also like a Statue of Liberty, like paperweight, I guess. I don't know what the fuck it is. A lot of cool knickknacks, or just strange knickknacks around. And there's the teddy bear on the bed. She took the top bunk.
She took the top bunk. Why would you... take the bottom bunk.
Some people like the top. They like to be elevated.
I will say this, one thing about dorm life, that bottom bunk situation was nice.
To me, it all depends.
it was like a cocoon. The comforter from top bunk would like hang down, and it was like a canopy bed.
Not always the case, but awesome that you guys lucked out on that one.
Oh yeah, it was good. It was real nice. I liked it. It was just like hidden away. It was nice.
My experiences with bunk beds in a non-home situation were not their best. We're talking summer camps, and we're talking like church camps, which is the worst. And I did not have that canopy life. It was horrible. I hated the bottom bunk. Never had a bottom bunk as a counselor. I was always like, no kids, this is my whole bed. I've got the top bunk.
Not only did I have the bottom bunk, but we actually because you could adjust the height on it a little bit. You had a couple of different settings, and I moved it up to be as tall as it could be because of course I want a tall bed. But then we could actually put like stuff under the bed so we could use it for storage. But like the area for me to like slide into the bed was like it was just like it was only like laying down. Like there was no sitting up at all possible. That was not an option. It was purely.
You had a very interestingly unique bunk bed experience.
Very unique. Like I mean, it was cozy. I don't know. It was like a real little cocoon cave, and I loved it.
That's awesome.
Have
you thought about doing
cozy.
It now?
Well, no, I have not. I don't really see.
Put another bed on top of yours, like extend it up.
First of all, my bed is so insanely tall that like that's not practical. I don't think you could put another bed on top of mine as tall as my bed is.
A pin bed posts and still get your canopy thing going on around. Like an old-timey Ebenezer Scrooge. Let me close these blinds to my bed.
I loved it, man. It was nice. It was, I don't know. I mean,
it sounds intriguing.
A safe little cocoon. Loved it.
So, Lisa moves in with Whitley. Also promises not to be the best experience, but hey, we're going to roll with it. Now, this is a scene you forgot to mention in the summary, but they go to hang out downstairs, I guess at the Hop.
Well, also, this is where we see that retainer mobile, which that has to have been from an episode of The Cosby Show, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like, what the
Surely.
fuck? It is disgusting.
Gross. So they go to the, I guess the cafeteria or the diner on campus, and Whitley's already there. She's kind of dancing and mingling. Denise is down there. We see Dwayne at the jukebox playing tunes, dancing. Everyone's in there. There's a dude in like I guess khakis and like a blazer who's dancing very awkwardly in the background at one point by a staircase.
Yes.
Not cool. Not a cool guy. Just like, dude, what's going on? You're not a freshman either. I don't know what's going on with you.
Got that mullet. Oh, there's also a girl, of course, it's all the white people that are like awful, the worst dancers. Like too many white extras as well for this show.
In the seasons after the first, they definitely dial back the white cast members as
I'm excited to have Marissa Tomei because the white character at the historically black college. But there's a lot of white extras that should not be here. But there's this one woman in fucking overalls who is also a terrible dancer right behind them.
Oh yeah. Just the worst.
Get those overalls out of here.
Whitley and Denise are sitting at a table. There's a guy at a table over there making eyes at them. Whitley thinks this handsome fellow is making eyes at her. Nope, Denise.
I mean, listen, Jasmine Guy, you are a beautiful woman, but I'm sorry, Lisa Bonet is sitting right now. Like, I'm sorry, it's Lisa Bonet all the way.
Yeah, so she's kind of taken aback. She's like, what? Dwayne comes in the picture and is like, hey guys, what about me? And I do love almost like, it's not purposely foreshadowing, I don't think, because they do not know how the second season and the rest of the show is going to go, especially how the fifth and sixth season is. But Whitley says, listen, Dwayne, you're going to have a lot of opportunities to be doing stuff for me in the future. Trust. But right now I need you to shut up and dance so I can basically go in there and get between Denise and this other heartthrob guy and ruin that because I want that. Cool?
Which, can we talk about the fact that this guy has like a sweater with somebody hunting with a hunting dog on it?
Dude, it's pretty awesome.
Like, what the fuck is this shit? Yikes.
I really love how Whitley tries to like have an in. She says, because he's obviously got eyes for Denise, but she says, so where are you from? He's like, Seattle. She's like, oh, so it rains a lot there. Just trying things. It's cute, and I like what they're doing. God, that dude in the background is just, the white guy is just trying to dance. It's like he's looking around like, hey, who else is here? Like, he's just so awkward.
Oh,
Worst extra.
Mullet too. Gross.
Whitley says, hey, I'm having trouble closing the hood of my convertible. Strapping dude with like a hunter shirt sweater. Can you come help me? Is he worse dressed? Only because of the sweater motif of someone hunting?
I think he's a strong contender. Strong contender.
I was going to say, this rubs Denise the wrong way. What really rubs her the wrong way is that later at night, as they're sleeping, Whitley has to have the sounds of, I guess, the South? Crickets chirping, playing on the boombox.
This was
to go to sleep.
Wild. I thought it was a scenario where she had the window open.
Oh yeah,
which I would have
obviously.
been like, oh, makes sense. Like she needs a fresh breeze to be comfortable while sleeping. I get that. I mean, put a fan directly in front of your face like I do, but hey, whatever. But no, it is fucking the sounds of crickets on tape.
Super weird. I mean, it's the sound of like the South in a way, like a meadow.
Yeah.
Deep South. We're talking like Alabama and Georgia, not Tennessee, but the South. Even weirder in my thought is Denise has a giant cactus on the desk beside her bed, and that's just an interesting. I don't know what she. I can't put my finger on who or what she is as far as like. But she's an 18-year-old trying to find herself. Of course, she has a giant cactus where you would put an alarm clock, and maybe even suspiciously close to an alarm clock where you would accidentally maybe even hit it. She'll make those mistakes. She'll learn.
Yeah. But
this isn't working out.
She tries to turn off the sound, and Whitley immediately yells at her. So she just goes downstairs to sleep on the communal couch. Which there's another thing you missed from the dorm experience, friend. The communal area where people either go to make out with their significant others, or if they get locked out of their dorm.
Jaleesa finds her on the couch. She's like, oh, what happened? And Denise is like, look, it's not working out with my other roommate either. Can we be roommates again, maybe? I don't know. They find a way to bond at this point. And maybe non-traditional students who've been divorced and don't have kids, but their ex-husband does, and which is why they're divorced. Maybe there's more in common than we thought.
She says that Whitley wouldn't let her eat cheese. It's very
That's
strange.
weird. That's weird. You don't want a roommate situation like that.
I mean, I didn't try to stop John Hoffman from eating pudding. Don't think I could have.
No, he needed that spoon. He has to borrow a spoon. Did you ever get that spoon back, or did it disappear?
No, I'm not sure. Better left forgotten.
What is her shirt? Jaleesa's shirt. It looks like there's two dudes dancing and there's like a planet. It's very of 87 as far as fashion goes for like a graphic tee. But there's something about it that looks interesting. Like I wonder if there's some cultural significance to it or not. Like it was a band shirt or something.
I can't tell.
I don't remember anything else of their conversation other than that they go back up to the room and eat pizza together. Because now they're going to be roommates again.
Yeah, basically what they say is Denise apologizes. I don't really know what she's apologizing for. Like
Jaleesa apologizes too. It's a lot of like a weird pity party of apologies. I'm like, guys, none of you were in the wrong here. It's
I know.
just
I feel
preferences.
Jaleesa was definitely in the wrong because she came off real aggressive. But what she explains is because she has been here for a year already, and she's like, "Listen, when I came back to school, I felt self-conscious about being older, and everybody was talking shit about me behind my back, and I guess I just got a thick skin about it because everybody was like making up rumors and things and saying that I slept with like a professor or something." Or that I slapped a professor, and she was like, "Oh, I thought it was the dean." It's like, this is all bullshit. It's like, oh my god, so really you've just been hurt too many times. Oh my god, we need to learn to understand each other. And just bond in the fact that we hate Whitley.
Also, things to note, as they're back in their dorm, and they're going to sleep, and Denise is on the top bunk, we see on the desk a giant fucking dictionary. And I'm like, yeah, this is 87. I guess you would have a giant library dictionary in your dorm. But then we kind of get like a credits scene, which is similar to the first one where they're all dancing and doing their thing on top of a car. And we look forward to the promise of what the actual pilot, one of the two pilots, is on the next episode.
Yeah.
I know that, I think originally one of the pitches was it was just going to be going to a college, obviously, in a small town.
What I saw earlier was that it was actually, before they tooled it to make it the Lisa Bonet show, it was going to be the exploits of a white girl in a historically black college. So
yes, I'm sorry, that's what I was trying to say, but I couldn't remember everything about it.
Yeah, it was going to be like the Meg Ryan show.
To which they rightfully were like, no, let's do something different, please.
Like, good call on Meg Ryan not accepting that one, because that that certainly would not have aged well.
No.
I don't think we don't need to see the uncomfortable race relations of the lead being a white girl in a black college and what she learns from. Oh God, that would be bad.
That would be bad.
Like, that's not something we could have pulled off in '87.
Best dressed, worst dressed.
I think worst dressed, probably hunting sweater.
Yeah, Whitley has some interesting outfits, but they're interesting, not bad per se.
Yeah.
Hunting sweater is just a weird vibe. I don't like that vibe, so I'm going to say that dude. It's also boring. Khakis and a sweater with a hunting graphic? Strange.
Yeah.
Best dressed?
I mean, I'm sure it's Lisa Bonet, because...
Oh,
come on.
It's gotta be.
It's Lisa Bonet. I mean, Whitley has some... I love Whitley's red dress, but I think... Oh, gosh. I think the white sweater Lisa Bonet with the hat...
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Lisa Bonet in a hat. Come on.
Lisa Bonet in a hat wins. Hands down,
Always.
more often than not. Always. Done. Who won and who lost? To me, this is the harder because Whitley lost a roommate, but she gets a room to herself.
Yeah.
So that's a win, I guess?
I think that's a win.
Dwayne has very little to do in the show.
Oh, Dwayne lost. He got nothing.
Got nothing. He's just a kid trying to find his way in the world before classes start, moving into the dorms, scamming on girls.
I mean, obviously, you know, this becomes the Dwayne and Whitley show.
Oh, yeah.
And obviously, they knew they were going to be main characters at this point. But obviously, side characters to Lisa Bonet and Marissa Tomei. But I think they have strong openings. Strong openings.
Oh, yeah. Like, I'm really curious because, again, I read a little bit about, like, impactful and culturally relevant shows or episodes in the future. And shit gets real on this show, guys. Like, it gets interestingly real, especially for shows in the late 80s, early 90s, that no other show that I've heard of have talked about certain things.
Like, The Cosby Show, like, had some real, like, serious stuff at times that was, like, that you didn't really see a lot of places either, but...
True. And this show continues that, but I guess because it has a younger cast, they're able to do things, and it's set in college, that I guess you couldn't necessarily do on The Cosby Show. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to spoil anything of what we're going to be hitting with this show later.
So yeah, we'll move on next time.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Thanks for listening to Ramjack. Again, I am Alex. The other guy is Brad. If you like what you hear, go to ramjackpodcast.com where you can find old episodes of the show. You can also find us in any of your favorite podcasting apps just by searching for Ramjack Podcast. Thanks again, and we will talk at you soon.